Connecticut is the southernmost state in the New England region of the northeastern United States. It is bordered by Rhode Island to the east, Massachusetts to the north, New York to the west, and Long Island Sound to the south. Its capital is Hartford, and its most populous city is Bridgeport. Historically, the state is part of New England, as well as the tri-state area with New York and New Jersey. The state is named for the Connecticut River, which approximately bisects the state. The word Connecticut is derived from various agricultural spellings of Connecticut, a Mohegan Pequot word for long tidal river. Connecticut is the third smallest state by area, the 29th most populous, and the fourth most densely populated of the 50 states. It is known as the Constitution State, the Nutmeg State, the Provision State, and the Land of Steady Habits. Connecticut's first European settlers were Dutchmen, who established a small, short-lived settlement called House of Hope in Hartford, at the confluence of the Park and Connecticut rivers. The Connecticut colony was originally a number of separate, smaller settlements at Windsor, Wethersfield, Saybrook, Hartford, and New Haven. Half of Connecticut was initially claimed by the Dutch colony New Netherlands, which included much of the land between the Connecticut and Delaware rivers, although the first major settlements were established in the 1630s by the English. Thomas Hooker led a band of followers from the Massachusetts Bay colony and founded the Connecticut colony. Other settlers from Massachusetts founded the Saybrook colony and the New Haven colony. The Connecticut and New Haven colonies established documents of fundamental orders, considered the first constitution in America in 1662. The three colonies were merged under a royal charter, making Connecticut a crown colony. Connecticut was one of the 13 colonies which rejected British rule in the American Revolution and ratified the U.S. Constitution on the 9th of January, 1788, to become the fifth state. The state capital and fourth largest city is Hartford, and other major cities and towns include Bridgeport, New Haven, Stamford, Waterbury, New Britain, Greenwich, and Bristol. The highest peak in Connecticut is Bear Mountain in Salisbury, in the northwest corner of the state. The highest point is just east of where Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York meet, on the southern slope of Mount Frizzle. Connecticut has a long maritime history and a reputation based on that history, yet the state has no direct oceanfront, technically speaking. The coast of Connecticut sits on Long Island Sound, which is an estuary. The state's access to the open Atlantic Ocean is both to the west, toward New York City, and to the east, toward the Race, near Rhode Island. Due to its unique geography, Long Island Sound and the Connecticut shoreline are relatively protected from high waves, from storms. The Connecticut River cuts through the center of the state, flowing into Long Island Sound. The most populous metropolitan region centered within the state lies in the Connecticut River Valley. Despite Connecticut's relatively small size, it features wide regional variations in its landscape. For example, in the northwest, Lynchfield Hills, it features rolling mountains and horse farms. In the south, there are coastal marshes, beaches, and large-scale maritime activities. Connecticut lies at the rough transition zone between the southern end of the humid continental climate and the northern portion of the humid subtropical climate. Northern Connecticut generally experiences a climate with cold winters, with moderate snowfall and hot, humid summers. Far southern and coastal Connecticut has a climate with cool winters, with a mix of rain and infrequent snow, and the long, hot and humid summers, typical of the middle and lower East Coast. As of the 2020 United States Census, Connecticut has a population of 3,600,000 people. It is the 29th most populous and the fourth most densely populated of the 50 states. In 1790, 97% of the population in Connecticut was classified as rural. The first census in which less than half the population was classified as rural was 1890. In the 2000 census, only 12.3% was considered rural. Most of western and southern Connecticut, particularly the Gold Coast, is strongly associated with New York City. This area is the most affluent and populous region of the state and has high property costs and high incomes. Connecticut's economic output in 2019, as measured by gross domestic product, was $289 billion. Connecticut's per capita personal income in 2019 was estimated at $79,000, the highest of any state. There is, however, a great disparity in incomes throughout the state. After New York, Connecticut had the second largest gap nationwide between the average incomes of the top 1% and the average incomes of the bottom 99%. According to a 2018 study by Phoenix Marketing International, Connecticut had the third largest number of millionaires per capita in the United States. In spite of its small size and small population, Connecticut is one of the wealthiest states in the whole country. It has got many cool cities and places that deserve your attention.